Hello there, gang, and welcome to Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's most fully funded video podcast. Oh yeah, that's going to be our top story today. Congratulations, Marvel Legends team. The HasLab Giant Man has successfully funded at the 11th hour, pulling victory out of the jaws of defeat. I didn't think it was going to happen. I was kind of blue because I wanted a Giant Man, but they came through at the last possible minute and actually surpassed the tier level. We got the first tier. We're getting the zombie face. Unfortunately, no Skrull face, and we were only short of that by about 100. It really wasn't much at all, but alas, anyone who wanted to buy two so that they could have a separate Giant Man Skrull for their Skrull army, it seems that's not going to be the case. Unless Hasbro want to, I don't know, put the fans first and say, you know what, your guys backed us, here, you can have the Skrull face as well. I don't think they're going to do that because it would set quite a dangerous precedent, but a couple of people have already suggested that to me. So I think, let me just be here to squash that little possibility. But dude, like Hasbro, prove me wrong, man. Throw in the Skrull face as well as a thank you to your supporting fans who are giving you $200 up front a year before they're even going to get anything. Because I'll be the first to say, you know this about me, it's not going to be a big revelation. I don't like the concept of HasLab. I think it's grubby, especially because you're encouraging your audience to do your marketing for you. That's why, I'll talk about the HasLab whenever there's news and stuff. It's the whole thing that people want to talk about, but I'm not going to go online and be like, come on guys, this is your last chance to back the HasLab, because I just feel like it's not my job. Guys, no, well, we just shouldn't have to do that. I really felt like a little bit, ugh. I don't like it. I don't see the Marvel Legends team going onto social media and saying, guys, you gotta go join the Model Behavior Patreon. This is the last day that you can possibly do it. If they did that, then, maybe you might get a little quid pro quo going on there. But until then, I'm like, nah, you guys, you market this yourselves, and whether it's going to rise or fall, it's going to be on you. And guess what? It rose, and it hit it. So kudos. Kudos and congratulations, because it is a good product at a reasonable price as well. And I think that FOMO kicked in at the last minute for a lot of people. So I for one, am very happy to see that I'm going to be getting this Giant Man. I know that it does kind of set a bit of a precedent as to what kind of prices that are acceptable for us. And that's the whole point of this. It should be an experiment. We're going to find out as time goes by. I think we decided Sentinel, great. Galactus, expensive, but the tiers and everything, it all worked out. Hellcharger, boom, y'all played yourselves there. So we dialed it back a little bit, and now we got Giant Man, where the price was right, but the offer wasn't that exciting. And that was why I think it was so slow, was because it is just a tall guy in spandex, and everyone was saying, well, couldn't we have got a smaller one at retail for like a deluxe figure? So it wasn't that like, it wasn't zhuzhed up all that much. It wasn't sexy, but it was still enough to clear the funding goal, so double thumbs up for that. Now we can all speculate about what next year's one is going to be. And this is quite a big day for Marvel, because Mafex have shown off their Daredevil. The Man Without Fear is going to be available September next year, around about the same time that I imagine Giant Man's going to be hitting. This guy, a little bit smaller though, and only a bit cheaper. He's half the price. So when you moan, or when people moan, not you personally, you and me, we're cool. But when people moan about the price of the HasLab, look at this Daredevil here, who's going to be $95, pretty much $100. How small and little this guy is. You could get about 10, physically 10 Daredevils could fill the HasLab Giant Man. So when you look at it that way, I think the price is pretty reasonable. This Daredevil looks fine, but that's all I'm really feeling. It's definitely a marked step up from the Marvel Legend. I mean, just look at the different faces you got here. I really love both the and the ah. Both of those are really good. The middle one with the teeth clenched, that's going into battle. The one on the right with the open mouth, that's having your dentist check you for tooth decay. Regardless though, all three of those faces look decent. I don't know if I'll actually want to get this figure though, because I've got the Netflix Mezco Daredevil, who's really like, that's a gorgeous figure there. I love the more real-worldy type costume. This looks good though. Very spindly though. I think that his arms and legs look very, very thin, very, very long. I think this is just the Spider-Man body. Stop me if I'm wrong, but I think it's just your regular Peter Parker Spider-Man body, just repainted, which makes me think like, come on, we maybe need to sort of push the boat out a little bit as far as doing different shapes and sizes of people. Because for Daredevil, yeah, he looks a little bit lanky, which is funny because actually I look at this and I think that's actually spot on human proportions, because I myself have extremely long and lanky arms and legs. So looking at Daredevil, I'm like, nope, that looks like a human being should do. But honestly, yeah, I think it looks a little bit awkward. Nonetheless, though, it is a nice looking piece with the billy clubs, with the wire, the accessories, the different open mouth faces. I do dig it. I say I'm probably not going to get him, but then again, in a year's time, when he actually hits store shelves, that opinion could change. But I always feel Daredevil does look very, very plain, but at the same time, that is his costume. You couldn't zhuzh it up anymore without making it kind of unrealistic. So with that in mind, he's fine. But honestly, just fine. He's nothing to get too excited about. Just a little bit excited, but not much. And Mafex are not done there, because they are also giving us a Black Adam figure from the DCEU. Talk about a day late and a buck short. And that's not their fault. I'm sure that a year ago, or even 2 years ago, when this figure was probably in production and being put together and workshopped, they were thinking, this is it now. The DCEU is finally going to kick off. The balance of power is about to change. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's going to save everything. He's going to be the new oh no. So now we've got a whole bunch of Black Adam merchandise that's going to come out in a year's time to, I imagine, a fair bit of apathy from the fans. Look, I know that there are a bunch of people who really love the DCEU, and they do want to get everything for it. And God bless you if you do. Hey, you're talking to the world's biggest Spider-Side fan here, so you're going to love what you love. So if you do want this, it looks like a really nice figure with the cloth goods cape. I mean, that's real good. For the Mafex there, they do cloth goods, but it's not like their forte, their go-to thing. So when you see it, and you see it done so well, doff of the cap there. Also, I was complaining about the Daredevil body, the spindliness, the gangliness. This, on the other hand, this looks perfect. This is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson here in all his ridiculous Roidy Magoo thickness there. So that's a great buck there. Also, the 3 different heads. Yeah, even the middle one, given the people's eyebrow. Gotta love it. I dig those looks. So it's a shame, in a way, because it's a really handsome-looking action figure. I just feel that September of next year, I don't think people are going to care that much. McFarlane Toys. Oh my goodness, guys. You know I rag on you all the time, but occasionally, even a blind squirrel finds a nut. And in this instance, Toddy Mac. You done a good-looking action figure right here. Lobo on his space bike, an Amazon exclusive, going to go up for pre-order on the 27th of this month. I think pre-order. I don't think it'll be available to buy. Will it? It's a bit too soon. Either way, I'll double check. Check it out on October. Yeah, it is October 27th. This looks great. It's just the one preview picture, but look at the size of this bike here. This looks full on like a 90s kid's toy, but done with some modern aesthetics, and I really love that. I also, speaking of love, the doggy on the back. I don't know the name of the dog, the character. You know me, I'm not a DC guy. However, this little mutt, this little pooch. I almost want to get this entire set just for him. But the overall package, the whole thing, it looks really, really nice. Also, I see the bike and I think Ghost Rider 2099. Do a little kit bashing, slap a Terminator skull on a chamber body. Boom, you got yourself a Ghost Rider. I think that's a real pretty looking bike. I want to put this next to the Cosmic Ghost Rider. What a pair that would be. This, yeah, really, really awesome. McFarlane, I gotta give credit where it's due. I'm looking forward to seeing more pictures from this and finding out what the price is going to be as well. Because, yeah, this is a really fun, super nostalgic 90s action figure playset looking set. And, yeah, sticking with McFarlane, we got ourselves some renders. I don't know where they came from, but we got them and they're doing the rounds. They were doing the rounds about a week ago. Now, finally, they've landed on my lap. Better late than never. Still technically early, since these are kind of leaky sort of things. So, that sounds gross, but you know what I mean. First of all, we got 90s Nightwing, or late 80s Nightwing. I can't keep track of the Nightwing eras, but it's the more elaborate la-di-da costume, which a lot of people were asking for. I always pictured this with more of a mullet kind of hairstyle, but look, I'm not going to start waxing lyrical on my opinions on DC characters because I don't know nothing. I'm only going to expose my ignorance. But yeah, you got Nightwing here. Then going on, we've got Owlman? Speaking of exposing ignorance, you know what? I'm not going to comment on these things that I know nothing about. Bluey, flappy man. There you go. Then Superman. At least Dave knows this one, which reminds me of an upcoming article that I'm going to be mentioning, which is that Mafex are re-releasing their Hush Superman, who looks gorgeous. So more on that later. Nonetheless, though, this is the most classic-looking Man of Steel that I think McFarlane have done. Looks nice, actually, genuinely. I gotta say, this looks like a good-looking Superman. I dig it. Red Tornado. That's the one, isn't it? I know this guy. That's all I know about him, though. Looks like an action figure that's going to be made. There you go. That's my comment on that one. Animal Man, though, I know has a big cult following. I've not read any Animal Man, but I know it's like a really weird meta kind of story, isn't it? Who writes Animal Man? Was it Alan Moore? Was he the one who was famous? I know he did Swamp Thing. Nonetheless, it's like, yeah, super meta. The character meets the creator, all that kind of thing. I kind of dig it. I think this will make a lot of people very happy. Then you got vampirized Robin. You got a vampirized Batman, so I guess that makes sense. And again, Todd loves his vampire-y, monster-y, joker-y variant. So there you go. And that's it. So no release dates, no nothing. Just these preview renders. And a lot of people have been talking about them. And hey, guess what? Now I am. Figure-Rise are doing an Ultraman Zero suit or Suit Zero figure. I don't know much about Ultraman, but this caught my eye just because, I mean, look at it. Wouldn't you want that on your shelf? It just looks like a badass design. Going to be released on the 28th of this month, so just a couple of days, and going to be about 4,000 yen, which is really not much at all. That's like 20 bucks. So I don't know. I've not heard of this manufacturer before, but I really like the look of this figure. Just a really cool, badass, almost sort of, I don't know, Metroid-y Power Rangers type space assassin. I know that's not who he is, but that's who he is in my head canon. And for about the equivalent of 20 bucks, I could get this, especially because I am going to go into town on the 28th anyway, because that's when Figure Arts Griffith figure is released. I got Guts not that long ago, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if I need Griffith. And then I went into town and I saw the display that one of the retailers had of all the Guts and Griffith figures together. It's hard for me to say that quickly. Griffith. There you go. And you can get him on horseback. You can get him just regular. And having the two of those, like the Black Knight and the White Knight fighting each other, even though the White Knight's evil and the Black Knight's good. That's why I love this kind of crazy dichotomy. It looks so badass that, yeah, on the 28th of October, I'm going to go in. I'm going to get myself a Griffith figure. And you know what? Maybe I might pick up this guy too if I can find him, because he looks pretty wicked. Notta Toys, who we've been recently talking about because I think they're the ones who are doing those electric Raiden harpy looking creatures who are going to be coming out in the next year or so. You know who I'm talking about. They're also doing an anthropomorphic crab man with a sledgehammer. I want it. I just wanted to tell you that. I thought it's important you know that Dave wants this ridiculous crab monster soldier. It looks like, I'm guessing this actual crab looking one is a conversion. I'm guessing you can convert this into this. And if you can do, if that's the deal, if that's the gimmick, hoo-ha! It's gonna be monster, baby. I really, really love the look of this little crab monster guy. Also, they're showing off this lion as well. There's a dude riding a lion dragon type thing. A lot of Chinese mythology, basically. Chinese mythology is big. Chinese mythology is so hot right now. And why the heck not? They have the best looking gods and monsters. They really do. So we had the blue lion coming out soon from, was that Notta as well? Or was that Fury? I can barely keep track, to be honest. There's so many awesome developers and manufacturers. We got another line coming out here as well. Plus, you can see them all together like this. Ah, man. I hate the fact that there are so many awesome things out there and they all cost money. Why can't I just get stuff for free? I mean, where's the justice in the world? I ask you. So, as I mentioned earlier, just a little heads up that Big Bad Toy Store have the Mafex Hush Superman, or they will be having it. pretty soon. It's being re-released. Jeez, words are hard, clearly. It's being re-released. Mafex obviously know how to make money by giving the people what they want. This guy is really hard to get hold of, probably because he's considered by many to be the quintessential Superman. So I'm sorry to rain on McFarlane's parade, having just seen them. We've managed to fish out some renders for a classic Superman. Honestly, if you can't wait for McFarlane and you don't mind spending an extra bit of money, this one going to be close to $100, about 95, I think. But I mean, you look at it. He does look phenomenal, doesn't he? I mean, I've got my Mezco Superman, which I absolutely adore, but this guy, whew, that might have to be done. I'm kind of tempted, especially because I have the Reign of the Supermen figures, and this dude kind of just standing tall above them. I think I just talked myself into it. Over in Creator Corner, I'm going to shout out Space Age Stuff, because he makes a whole bunch of Spider-Man figures, and the one that caught my eye is this guy. Do any of you know who this guy is? Can you name him? This, folks, is Flipside 2099. One of the very first comics I ever bought was Spider-Man 2099, where this guy showed up. And I was like, holy potatoes, this looks freaking awesome. Breaks my heart that he was only ever in one comic, and now he's just consigned to the Marvel, history bin. Because he shouldn't be, because he's got an awesome look. But nonetheless, this guy captured him fantastically. So that's what got my interest. And then I went to his full-on page, and that's what got my attention, because he is a prolific son of a gun, making all sorts of different Spider-Man customs and variations, and I dig them. This is one of those Instagram pages that can be a real rabbit hole, because the dude's done a whole lot, and there's a whole lot to enjoy. So go check out Space Age Stuff on Insta, and then go and petition Marvel Comics to bring back, what's his name? I don't even know. Flipside. There you go. Whew. It's been a long day already, clearly. Over in Cosplay Corner, we are going to take a look at Miss Brizzolo over here. I don't know, I guess maybe my algorithm has kind of been tweaked towards fitness models. I mean, especially after, not yesterday's, but the day before's cosplayer who is just, jacked to the nines and looking the business. I think Instagram went, oh, do you want to see more of these? And I was like, yes, Instagram. Thank you, I do. And this is another wonderful looking cosplayer who is clearly not afraid of hitting the gym, and God bless her for it, because dang it, some of these costumes are absolutely phenomenal, and she fills them like an actual video game character would do. I mean, y'all doing it right. Honestly, being a gym nerd, you wouldn't know it to look at me, but I am a gym nerd. I really appreciate the people who have actually gone and worked out not to get skinny and look like, oh, I'm all skinny, look at me, but actually to look like functionally fit and like super healthy and athletic. Boom! That's what mashes my potatoes. And looking at this lady's Instagram, y'all better believe my potatoes are thoroughly mashed. God, this sounds so weird. Sorry. And before we go, it's time for Patreon shoutouts. You know how this works. If you're a member of the Patreon, you can shoot me a message there, ask me a question, and I'll answer it right here. And for this episode, Brian writes, Dave, what action figure line would you want if you could have any line made, and which company would you want to make it? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's a very easy one. There's actually two. I mean, gosh, there's a ton, to be honest. But really, Metal Gear Solid. And even then, when I was pausing for a second, it's because my brain was going, do you want Metal Gear Solid? Or do you want Resident Evil? Oh, either one. It's like Sophie's choice. I love my 90s video games. So also, it's got to be 1/12 scale, obviously. And yes, we have had a plethora of Resident Evil and Metal Gear Solid figures made, but no definitive line, I feel. And honestly, I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. Hasbro. I gotta go Hasbro. Could you imagine if they did a Resident Evil wave with a Nemesis or a Tyrant Build-A-Figure? Like, oh, it's tailor-made. You could have deluxe releases for all the big monsters, like your Hunters or your Lickers. And then, yeah, each wave would have, Chris, Claire, Barry, Wesker. There's so many characters. Marvel Legends would absolutely kill that. The same goes for Metal Gear Solid. Although, if you want to mix things up a little bit, maybe, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but maybe McFarlane for Metal Gear Solid. Because I feel like, no, actually, no, you know what? No, I take it back. So I was going crazy there for a second. No, I don't want that. Hasbro again, because you look at what they do with their G.I. Joe characters. All military style gear. You could transfer that kind of design aesthetic to Metal Gear Solid characters. Again, Build-A-Figures for characters like Vulcan Raven. And then just, you're spoiled for choice, man. You're spoiled for choice. I'd love to see it. And to a lesser extent, Streets of Rage. Storm Collectibles have done an Axel Stone, and they're bringing out Adam eventually, so hopefully Blaze will follow suit. But I would happily buy an entire bunch of waves with all the goons and thugs and everything else. So yeah, Brian, thanks for being a Patreon member. Thanks for writing in with a question. And yeah, thanks for getting the old creative juices flowing, because dang it, I want all these things to become a reality now. And folks, that does it for model behavior for today. Thank you so much for watching, and what did you think about the items covered? Comment below, let me know. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then you know what you gotta do. You gotta join the 6-1 clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And also, if you want to go one step beyond and supporting the channel, then you can do over at patreon.com, where over there you can see all of the exclusive videos, all the different reviews. I'm about to review this piece of garbage water from the new X-Men 97 wave. Yeah, revelation. The longer I've owned him, the more I dislike him. It's gonna be a salty review. But isn't that what you come... No, it's not actually. I know it's not what you come here for. You come here for the good vibes. But occasionally, we gotta get a little salty too. I've been praising Hasbro with the HasLab today. Gotta knock them down a peg or two as well. So yeah, you can see all of that on the Patreon or the channel members section. And also, you can get live call-in links so that when we do the live streams, you can call in and we can have a little chinwag live on air, because that's always a lot of fun too. So gang, thank you for supporting the channel however you do. Even if it's just by clicking on this video, that means the world to me. So thank you so much for that. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Cup of coffee. Oh yeah, cup of coffee. Big time